Well, stay right there because I want to bring in our panel. Hudson Institute fellow Michael Pregent, a former military intelligence officer who advised General David Petraeus and served on the H.R. McMaster before he was named National Security Advisor, and Rebecca Grant, a former Secretary of the Air Force official and current IRIS independent research president. Rebecca, I'll start with you. Okay, so now this lands in the lap of Congress. Not a lot of folks these days have confidence that Congress can get anything done, even something like this. So how do you game this out for us? How do you see it playing out?
Well, Trump has taken a really good approach here. One, Congress was briefed. Top officials were briefed over the last couple of days. But, Charles, keep in mind there's a hugely important background here for Congress to consider, too. Trump is seeing intelligence every day on the mischief that Iran is making in the battlefield in Syria and Iraq. Don't forget, our forces had to shoot down 2 Iranian-made drones back in June because they were threatening our coalition forces. So Congress has to consider this, too. What is the role of Iran in the post-combat aftermath in Iraq and Syria? So Trump has made a brilliant move here to get some more maneuvering room to look not only at the nuclear deal, but at how we go forward with regional stability. And don't forget, this deal only said it takes Iran from going from being 2 to 3 months away from a bomb to only a year away from a bomb. That was the maximum claim made. Very flimsy deal.
Yeah, in fact, many people say what everyone agrees on is it put them on an official path to the bomb. Michael, how do you see this playing out? Because it's unlikely that Iran would okay any sort of major significant changes to the deal, particularly when they've got the EU behind them and perhaps even feckless members of our own Congress.
Well, two things happened today. Secretary Mnuchin warned European and U.S. companies that doing business with companies in Iran that are tied to the Revolutionary Guard Corps could result in U.S. Treasury targeting those entities, both European, American, and Iranian companies with sanctions. That's one thing. The way I see this playing out, the president basically said you got 3 months to do something about this, and if you don't, we're going to kill the deal. One of the interesting things here is we can actually work with our allies and present Iran a deal without them having a say, basically not having Zarif at the table to ask us to make concessions, and basically delivering the Iran deal to Iran saying these are the negotiations. We want access to these sites, no ballistic missiles, and we're going to continue to put sanctions on the Revolutionary Guard Corps.
What about their spread of terror in the region? To Rebecca's point, at Yemen to it and other things. This is part of their core goals. So it's hard to imagine them giving that up.
Well, they're going to have to, because the entirety of the IRGC was designated today. That's huge. That's ramifications for any country that has an IRGC proxy or IRGC-backed militia in their country. They have to actually purge them from their security forces. I'm talking about Iraq, I'm talking about Syria, I'm talking about Beirut, and I'm talking about Yemen. There are a lot of these entities that can be targeted now. The Revolutionary Guard Corps designation today is actually bigger than decertification.
Yeah.
Because the IRGC actually runs their ballistic missile program. The IRGC does a lot of the testing. So this is a big day. And this is the first time the government's ever designated a country's military as a terrorist organization.
That was really the headline here, wasn't it, Niall? Going directly after the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, President Trump took a firm stance against them.
Well, this sends exactly the right message, and the Revolutionary Guard's activities run through every aspect, actually, of the Iranian government. They are at the very heart of the regime, and also by targeting the Revolutionary Guards, you also will target and hit the Iranian economy and a large number of international companies and so on that do business with Iran. So the tentacles of the Revolutionary Guard spread throughout the Iranian regime. So President Trump and his administration was absolutely right to target them today. Right. This is a very important first step.
Rebecca, real quick, on the other side of this worst case scenario, can this spark or trigger Iran to actually speed up their nuclear program?
They are so close already, and the Missile Defense Agency has said they can build a ballistic missile intercontinental anytime they want to. So they'll have to think very hard. It's a risk we take, but when they were only a year away, it's just not that big of a risk. It was a flimsy deal. We've got to do what Trump said, try to make this a better deal.
Yeah, well, certainly they know now that there is a new sheriff in town. Guys, thank you all very much.